as they came closer this way, what they noticed just over in the distance was sheep huddled up on this little hill. And at this point, they heard a growling coming from that area over there. For 3 years now, we've been looking over around the fields around the quarry or at the base of Winter Hill. I've had witnesses coming forward to tell me of their accounts, which you're going to hear on this video, and we've had a few moments up there ourselves as we've been investigating the area.
This orangey red eye shine, how often did you see that?
I've seen it a few times, I would say for 7 years.
7 years.
I've seen it over this period of time. It would have been about 4 years ago, and it would have been towards the end of April, beginning of May. But the red eyes things, you see them all the time, basically.
So you saw red eyes a lot?
Yeah, the first time I ever saw them was just on earlier. And I radio through and said, there's some red eyes here looking at me. No one believes me. Like how you see all the deers that are all white in the base?
Yeah.
That's what the red bit looks like on them.
So they're as big as a deer?
They're not red. They have like an orange tint to it. The red cub with an orange tint.
You mentioned that there was a sort of scream and a growl.
That's when I was going down into the bottom of the quarry. And it kind of stopped me in the track. It was shaking and trying to get the torch working. The torch wouldn't work. I got the police out. But after the screaming, it must have walked at the side. But where I presumed it was, they called like bungs and mounds of mud.
Yeah.
Where does anything that falls from above the quarry, it'll just land in there and not go anywhere.
Right.
And I think it's walking in and out of that bit. And I can't get into there to see like paw prints or anything like that.
What do you think it was?
I think it was a panther that it roared at me. But it was like a lion's roar. But when I was Googling as well, they do actually scream. What's happening is, because the peregrine falcons go mad when anything's around. And they're up and down and it's chipping away and everything. And I think that's when it's walking. I know it sounds daft, but it's walking about. And then the geese start going mad. And I think it's going for the geese. Mainly between and here. Because there was a peacock up at that got munched away.
Was up in this area, and that is the time when we found all the sheep that had been mutilated round here. And we came up one evening, and we got to the point where we are now. I think it was around here, or maybe a bit further over. Now, where you can see the sheep there, that's where we were stood. Now, Lee, because we came up, there were 4 of us. There was Lee, myself, Denise, and Caroline. And we were shining our torches around. Now, Lee had his binoculars, his night vision binoculars, and he held them up and he was facing this way while we were walking that way. Then he shouted over, he'd seen something. And he was running over to see what it was. At that point, he said, get your torches over here. So we were like shining our torches over to this area. And I saw what looked like a body movement, but it had quite coarse hair. And it was quite dark. And it moved over. Now, Lee had said he saw eye shine. And they were quite big eye shine. And Denise said the same. Now she was looking normally, so she saw the eye shine as normal. It was white eye shine. And as we all came running over to this area, we stopped just around here and couldn't see anything, whatever this was. But as Lee were looking at over there and he was going towards it, he said he could see the eye shine bobbing up and down. Just behind here is a little quarry. And at first I thought, oh, it could have been a sheep and it were moving, until I saw the colour of its fur. And I thought, well, I really don't know what this is. I've not seen anything like this before up here. You know, I've seen deer up here, and I know the colour of deer, and I know how the fur is. This was different. So whatever it was around here, and it was looking over the top and then bobbing back down, Lee had said. He said he saw the eye movement moving down and then coming back up, moving down. And it looked as though it were watching us. But, like I said, we came over here. When we got to this area, this is what you see. So whatever it was, had been looking over the top here. And down there is about 20 to 25 foot drop. Now we heard no sound, and as you can see, there's a lot of bricks down there, which, if you stood on, would make some sort of noise. So I'm now down at the bottom. So I'm going to have a look and see what we've got around here. Got some wool over there on the floor. Now there are some bones here, which weren't here last time I came down here during the day. So we have one here, the back end of a sheep, which, let's see if there's more than one. You can see little teeth marks where something's been nibbling at it, which is a natural predation. There's a backbone here. And again, some more with teeth marks, it looks like. We've got another back end here, so there's more than one here. And again, some over here. So it looks as though there's more than one. But from what I gathered, there's two. And here we've got another one. But that's all I'm getting, is bones. Nothing else, just bones. Some with a bit of flesh on, some without. Now I'm up above, but I can't see anything. I will turn you around so you can see what I can see. There's nothing else here that looks like bones. I'll just go this way and show you what I've come across. So we've got this here, pile of bones. Now it looks as though we've got an ear tag, just here. Take it to the local farmer. More bone here, and again some more here, over here, some here, So we've only found one tag up to now. Can't see any more tags around. See small bite marks or something. Don't think I've been a nibble on that. Here again. Another one of them. Like that. So to me that looks as though we've got 3 around here. But only one ear tag. So whatever it was that night, this is where it would have had to come down. And I can't see a deer or a sheep coming down this without making any noise at all. And again, that one where I started, some there, some here, so it's scattered around. And just in this little area. And as you can see, no sheep in here at the moment. There's them 2 over there wandering off because they've seen me. I can't see anything else. Now I'm going to head back this way and show you the quarry. Now this is the quarry that runs all the way along and all the way along up, right over in the distance there. And this is where we've had the big cat sightings within this quarry. So this is a quarry with the photo of the footprints, where there's been red eye shine, and where 2 of the security guards have actually been growled at. Apparently there's a mine shaft entrance down there, but you can't really see it from here. Yeah, I think you've got to get into the quarry to actually see it. So perhaps this, whatever it is using that mine shaft.
What it were, Mick, I mean, to be honest, I had no interest in big cats or anything like that, me at all. But I started at that quarry, the smaller one, and I've been on there for a while, but it were around about like 2018, it was summer, where I'm sat, or was sat, you're looking out over towards Wales, like Snowdon and Liverpool, and you've got the football, Bolton Wanderers Football Club, you know, and I'm sat right quite high up, and it's a great view, you know. I remember it vividly because it was like, I call it golden hour, you know, when photography. And I looked out to my left-hand side, there's a window at the side, and there's like a couple of hills, but there's like, it's piled up mud, if you will, dried out. And I could see something sat there. And when I looked, no word of a lie, because it was a side-on profile to it. And it just looked like a cat. And it was sat there, but it was sat on its, like a dog would do, sat down. And it was just surveying the land in front of it, facing the football club. And then it just like leant forward, got up onto all fours, and slinked away to the left-hand side towards the road what runs up at the side of that quarry. But the day after I went up, and it's really hard, crusty ground, so there were no paw prints or anything like that. But time and time again, I've seen sheep up there, and when you look, straight away you can say, yeah, it's a sheep. Or I can see a roe deer, straight away, it's a roe deer. And I thought, no way, it just flew and it was just sat there. But the way it moved as well, I've got dogs myself, you know. To be honest, Mick, wherever a dog is, there's not the human quite close to it, and I mean, mine are always at my feet. I don't let it, it's not going to run off and sit on a hill somewhere, and, you know. But what got me attention was its head.
I mean, I've looked at pictures since in the Puma. It was just spot on like a side profile of that. Right. But it's the way it moved off. It moved off like like a little domestic cat. But it was like that, but it was a bloody bigger version because of where I'm sat and where that hill was. You can sort of like, well, you wouldn't have been able to see a domestic anyway. Do you know what I mean? It was just, it was very unusual. But previous to that sighting, Mick, is when I saw them red eyes at the back of the quarry. Because what it is, Mick, you couldn't walk down it. Well, you could if you went over the fence. But what it is, it floats down and it's all heather. Well, I just flashed the back and I saw it. Just two red eyes watching me. I just put it down to a fox or a deer. I never really looked into it. But it never entered my head, mate. Like I said, I had no interest in subject until I saw it. And I thought it was, and that's when I started taking an interest, you know. I mean, I'm out all the time here, mate, with my cameras and tripods, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what's what, don't you, in your local area? Don't you, your foxes, your roe deer? And when you see something like that, it just stuck out and thought, whoa, hang on a minute.
In 2019, October the 25th, two fellas was walking the track I'm walking now, about between 11:30 and 12 o'clock at night. As they were walking along this track, without torches at this point, one of them stood on something here, while the other one got the torch out and had a look round. What they saw was a sheep lying there with his chest open and still steaming. Because of the weather being cold, they could see the steam coming off. Now, as they came closer this way, what they noticed just over in the distance was sheep huddled up on this little hill. And at this point, they heard a growling coming from that area over there. And as one of them lifted the torch up to have a look round, they quickly saw a pair of red eyes looking. And as they were scanning back round, they quickly looked again because they weren't sure what they'd seen. They looked up and they saw movement quickly going down into the reeds just at the top there. Now the sheep were in that corner. This thing was over there. And then we had the dead sheep that was just here. Now, what they did was get back to back and walk round because they were still getting growled at this point, and they were like scanning the landscape with a torch as they were moving backwards. So as they're walking back to back and he's holding his torch up, they still hear the growling, but they get to this point, and as you can see here where the stile is, one of them went through the gate and the other one, because they were that terrified, jumped over the fencing just here onto this little road. As they got through the gate and they started walking down here, they got to this point, and whatever it was that was in the field and that growled at them had come behind them, and they could hear it going from one side of the path to the other. It was going from left to right and then right to left, and it was growling at them as they were walking in this direction and going this way towards their vehicle. Again, as they were walking this way, whatever was following them was going from left to right, right to left again, and it was just growling at them all the way down as they got to their vehicle, which was just parked up at that area. They got into it, backed out and went back down the road. Now this road goes all the way down near Orwich, and they went that far down before stopping. Now when they got down to the bottom, they started googling different sounds of animal growls, and they couldn't come across any until one of them jokingly said the sound of a werewolf. As they played it, they both looked at each other and thought, that is a growl what they just heard. When we came up with one of the lads who had this experience, we had a look round this field and we found another sheep which was a little bit older further down, and it had its head sort of rammed into the wall. Now if it's a big cat, it's not going to get a sheep's head and ram it into walls. Now coming back over when we came up with one of the lads, and we were looking at the sheep that I've just explained over there. Now the wall, it at the top, the stones had been put in a certain triangle way, and some of the vertebrae had been left on top. So who knows what could have done something like that? But it adds to the mystery of what this thing is around here.
It was about 7:30 in the morning, and we were both coming down here in the van, and it was around about the summertime because it was still light, and we was just passing down this road, and I looked over this wall like I do most mornings, and padding through the centre of this field was what all I could describe as a massive, massive dog, more of like a bulldog shape or Rottweiler shape, but if it stood up, it probably would have been about this tall. You know, looking at it from where I was sat in the van, and it was round about that wide, and the speed that it was moving at was incredible, and it looked like it wasn't even putting any effort in at all as it was moving. It was dark in colour, if it had any fur, or if it was skin or whatever, but the look of it was dark. Didn't get to see its head or its face because it was moving in like a westerly direction over there. It was more than a glimpse. I got to see it for a couple of seconds, to be honest. It wasn't just like something I saw out the corner of my eye. I physically watched it go through the field, and then I was off. So my eyes weren't playing tricks on me or anything, but it was round about just after the telegraph pole, in the centre of the field, heading west. No, I didn't slow down as I went past. No, because I was just like, like I weren't ready for it. I was like, what the heck was that? So I just carried on, but it was dark in colour. It was like a bulldog, Rottweiler shape, but imagine it on steroids. It was bulging, it was massive. Honestly, it was huge. I can't remember if it had a tail or not, to be honest, no. I would like to say if it did or not, but I've tried to draw it since, because I'm into painting, but I just can't draw anything it just looks silly when I try to draw it. It was that abnormal of a creature.
If someone was to say to you, well, it was out in the field, it was a cow, what would you say?
Absolutely not. No, it was about that far from the ground. Its legs were quite bulldog shaped. They weren't cow shaped. The legs, they were quite like, and they were bowed. The legs, they went round like a bulldog or a Rottweiler. Well, I've never seen a cow move that fast. No, it weren't even putting any effort in when it was moving. It was just padding along the field, but it went from like there to there, and that's it. It was over.